Hello and welcome. I am Akram Haq, the editor of the Policy Times, and you are watching the Policy Times, India's only channel on developmental journalism. You must have heard about many journalism, but you know, as a fourth pillar of democracy, media or journalism plays a very important role in democratic setup. Now we realize that in developing or emerging countries like India and many others, we need developmental journalism to bring the real core developmental issues on the front to educate and create awareness among the common mass. And I think this program, in partnership with UTHM University, based in Malaysia, we are coming up with a series of talk shows on environmental issues and sustainability issues. My co-moderator is Dr. Wesam Al Mathun from UTHM Malaysia, from the Department Faculty of Civil Engineering and Built Environment. And I'm really honored to introduce a renowned and very nice panel of experts today with us to discuss. I want to introduce and welcome Dr. Florinas Ruslan, Eddie Montoso from MMT. He is from the Faculty of Civil Engineering, Narutama University in Indonesia. I want to welcome Ms. Norazia Abdul Wahab, Director, University Sustainability Center, USC, University, Malaysia. I also want to welcome Dr. Akib Furkan, Research Center and Innovation on Big Data, ITERA, Indonesia. Professor Rafat Siddiqui, we are expecting very soon, who is a Dean and Research and Sponsored Projects and also Senior Professor of Civil Engineering, Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology from Patiala, India, from my own country. And Dr. Muhammad Fadil Din, Director, UTM Campus Sustainability, UTM Malaysia. So three to four prominent universities joining us for this important discussion. The subject is campus sustainability and university impact. I think there is a concept now called Green University, which is very popular in India. And through this concept, India and I think many other countries, Dr. Wesam will share more details about that. So Green University concept is trying to promote green sustainability and environmental issues at the campus. And this is very popular in India. Many upcoming universities are planning to take the tag of being a green university. And the other is women university. We all know the importance of sustainability and climate change and biodiversity issues. I want to pose a couple of questions before our panel, before I actually introduce and request my co-moderator, Dr. Wesam, to take on the session. Number one, how big or important role academia should play to create awareness of this issue? A little disconnect between the civil society and academia is that the academia is not able to make the issue of sustainability very attractive for the common mass. Common mass, when I say, they can be the students of the academia, but also the non-stakeholders of this, like even the parents and the other stakeholders in the society. So, what kind of leadership role can academia play to make the issues of sustainability, environmental issues, biodiversity very attractive and with a problem solving attitude? Like these are the solutions. Second is what and how are the academia playing an important role in terms of bringing the innovation? Innovation is a very important thing, especially to address these countries. The third is I'm very happy that UTHM and UTM also, these universities are very closely, we are actually fortunate to very closely work with you and creating awareness on all these issues in India. But there are a lot of developing and poor countries which needs much more advocacy awareness by you, because you are a little way ahead of the other countries. What kind of planning and program you have so that we can bring more and more stakeholders, especially from the poor and emerging countries, because the environmental cost of this, the cost of being unsustainable or the environment is huge for the poor countries. Like the poor access of safe and drinking water is $1 billion cost for poor countries in Africa, and even water scarcity is going to be a havoc and huge problem for countries like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and all. In this case, we need universal solutions, and developed or emerging better countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, we would be looking up to solution for that. The third is industry has to play a key role, but at the same time, affordability of it is also important. So industry will bring water for you, but that water would be very costly for the common mass to consume. In that case, what kind of solutions can academia or platforms like you can bring for the society? Thank you. And with this, I want to welcome my co-moderator, Dr. Vesam, to kindly take on the session.
Yeah, Mr. Akram, thank you so much for the introduction. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Starting with our honored panelists, let's start with Prof. Fadil. Prof. Fadil, what are the initiatives being taken by UTM? And you are leading the Office of Sustainability in UTM. So what are the initiatives being taken by the university in terms of the sustainability aspects?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wesam. I thought my name is should be the last person. Anyway, thank you very much for highlighting me. Anyway, in the campus, sustainability is a kind of a stereotype name when people refer sustainability is only for the environment. So that's the stigma by other people is just only working sustainability for the environment, for the greening, the sustainability part, and also how to make it the energy saving and something like that. So my position and my roles in the university since I think 5 years ago, because we started the sustainability, I think about 10 years ago. I think Dr. Wesam, one of the person who actually working one of our committee regarding on build up that kind of component in the campus. So what's the new initiative in our universities now? Because since 2015 we already have the SDG part, and the SDG is actually translated in terms of very various sectors and also initiative. So since this few years ago, our campus is actually working on the new framework. We call it as the governments, institutionals, research, academics, and community frameworks. That one is to reach the 2020 framework. And regarding on that kind of initiative, we embedded the SDG element and indicator. So we call it as a localizing SDG in the campus. Because you know why? Because most of us is only know about the SDG as the general items, not technically how to involve. Because SDG is about no one left behind. So this is the important message that we want to bring to our campus, that is not only staff, it's not only students, everybody must be actually in that position. Whether you are actually as a technician, whether you are as actually the operators, whatever it is, so you actually the person who actually will do that kind of exercise, you will do actually the transformation. So what we are doing by now, rather the previous works is only based on the event, based on what we call the one-off program. So we are creating by now is actually how to sustain that kind of program that can impact to others, that can actually deliver to other persons, right? Because in our campus, we actually giving them some knowledge, scientific knowledge. We have a lot of research. We have a lot of, fundamentals things, and we want to bring our students know everything about academic. But how they will implement it in the real world, how they try to do in a kind of what we call that, the exercise to the community. So because of that, we are creating one of the program we call it as My Sustainability University Network, MySun. So that one is actually the engagement with 8 universities partners in Malaysia, like UPM, we have USM, Unimas also, we have UMS and everything there, 8 partners. So we created that kind of platform for us to establish between us what exactly the program that may be actually redundant each other. So we don't want to do a kind of single-minded campus initiative, but we are crossing all the campus there. So by 2023, means 3 years from now, we should have in our campus is actually monitor with the policy, implement, and impacts. I think that's all from my introduction and what's the initiative for our campus. And I hope that everybody, not only in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Philippines, India as well. So we need to do these kind of things. We have to make a partnership between us. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. So giving to Madam Nur Azia. So talking about UNIMAS and the the initiatives at the campus. So what are the initiatives at the UNIMAS campuses in terms of sustainability practices?
Yeah, right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Wesam, for inviting UNIMAS to participate in this webinar. So for the first round of this forum, I will be sharing some initiatives and our programs about what we have done at our university. And I would like to take this opportunity as well to introduce my university, UNIMAS, to everyone around the globe. I'll be sharing some presentation slide. Let me get the... Yeah, is the slides okay?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So I would like to take this first few minutes to introduce about my university. Then after that, I will be sharing some initiatives and programs that we have embarked for the past 5 years. And then in the second round, I'll be sharing on our way forward on the sustainability initiatives at the university. So this is our university, University of Malaysia Sarawak, also known as UNIMAS. We are located at the land of Hornbill, Sarawak, in the Borneo Island at Kota Semarahan. A bit of statistics, we have about 16,000 plus students in campus with 604 international students all around the globe. I would like to share as well on our achievement in the THE ranking as well. As a young university, University of Malaysia Sarawak is ranked as 351 in the world. We are only 28 years old university, considered as young university. And then in the Asian University ranking, we are ranked at 401 in Asia. And I would like to highlight, which is very much related to our topic today, especially on the university impact rankings, because if we refer to the questions by the moderator just now is how academia engage with the community in terms of promoting the awareness, and also how we from the university transfer our knowledge and technology to university. So this is actually being measured in the THE University Impact Rankings, and I am pleased to share that UNIMAS is ranked 201 in the world and 5th in Malaysia in the University Impact Ranking. And then in the top all over the world, we are rated as top 100, especially in SDG 13 on climate action, in SDG 5, gender equality, SDG 14, life below water, SDG 2, zero hunger, and as well as SDG 16. So this is actually our recent achievement reported in the year 2020. So moving on our specific topics today, I'll be sharing some framework on what we have done at the university, and also some quick sharing on few programs, very impactful programs that we have done, especially to our community. I just introduced about my center, University Sustainability Center. Our role is actually leading and coordinate industries and communities related sustainable development projects and activities. We are coordinating also and linking UNIMAS innovative products, services, and expertise because all our research products, we need to transfer it to the community and to industry to help them to solve their problems, as well as in support towards achieving the SDG. This is our framework. we are adopting the quadruple helix collaboration in all our program, basically comprised of academia, which is the university itself, our experts panel, and also the government. We are collaborating with the government in initiating our UNIMAS government funding opportunities, because I must also emphasize that a lot of our sustainability related projects are funded by the government, be it the federal government or the state government of Sarawak. We also engage very closely with industry. We have also transferred some of our technology to solve industrial problems, and as well as to the community, supporting our university social responsibility and also the knowledge transfer initiatives. This is our sustainability program framework. So we are working with the 4 parties just now: academia, government, industry, and also community. And this is the 4 major activities program that we did at our center. We're dealing with knowledge transfer, where we impart our knowledge, train the community and industries on certain areas. Especially now, we are talking about digital economy in the state of Sarawak. So we did a lot of knowledge transfer to the community, especially on the IR 4.0, the Industrial Revolution 4.0, because our state is going forward to the digital economy of Sarawak. So like Dr. Fadil mentioned earlier, SDG policy is leaving no one behind. So we do not want to have any community left behind in this kind of development. So we did a lot of knowledge transfer, especially on lifelong learning activities with the community. And we are looking into technology transfer as well. All the research activities that are readily in terms of product already, that can be transferred to the community, that can bring impact to the community. We are also having such programs at our center. And university social responsibility is just having an engagement with the community to create awareness to them about SDG, about digital economy initiatives and many initiatives in the country. And the last bit is on service learning. This is actually quite new in our center. It's actually incorporating community engagement activities in our curriculum, actually. So we call it service learning under the Ministry of Education Malaysia, also known as SULAM. I'll be sharing that as well, sharing. And our innovation program is based mainly on the Blue Ocean Strategy principles, because like the moderator mentioned earlier, sometimes the technology from industry is very very costly. So a lot of our program is based on the Blue Ocean Strategy principles. It must have high impact, low cost, rapid execution. We have a program or project that's only duration of 3 months to 1 year. And also it must be sustainable, meaning to say that it can be sustained by the community itself, and it can be replicated in other communities as well. UNIMAS is also part of University for Society, U4S. It's actually initiative by the Ministry of Education Malaysia, whereby engaging the academia, the University for the Society. We have the Industry and Community Engagement Unit, like focusing on the transferring knowledge and technology to the community, as well as SULAM, the Service Link Malaysia. And then we involve also on schools. Okay? We have a program called Sekolahku Universitiku, which is meaning direct translation is actually my school, my university, whereby we did a lot of engagement with the school students, especially in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the SDG education, in terms of STEM education as well. And also we have the MySTEM ambassador in promoting science, technology, engineering, and maths education to the school. A quick sharing on what we have done for the past 5 years. We have a strategic plan of the university, UNIMAS Strategic Plan 2016-2020. Our tagline for our strategic plan is actually sustainability for diverse and dispersed community. As you all know that UNIMAS is located in the land of Borneo. Borneo is huge in land size. the community is diverse. We have more than 20 ethnics in Sarawak, and they are we have different languages, different culture, different background, and so forth. So we have a UNIMA strategic plan 2016-2020 looking at sustainability for diverse and dispersed community. So a quick sharing on what we have done at the university. We have done projects with the community nearby, focusing on SDG 3, good health and well-being, on the eye screening project. Because sometimes this can be very costly. And so what we do is we go out and outreach to the community to do the health screening. This is STEM education, promoting, whereby we get our academia, our lecturers, even our students participate in this kind of activity, promoting the science, technology, engineering, and maths education to the school. Because for us to be a developed state by 2030, we need a STEM manpower, a pool of talent in STEM education. This is also STEM engagement that we did on the Expo and Carnival. Not only we do it in school, but we also engage with community. Even we go out and outreach people at the longhouses as well to engage them with the STEM education. This is our Vice Chancellor actually on the right-hand side. Our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Muhammad Kadim Suaidi, with the Chief Minister of Sarawak, whereby the state is impressed with our achievement, where we set up what we call a STEM lab in school. And this STEM lab able to increase the science and maths achievement of the students at a particular school, and also to guide them for the drone, robotics, and bot, and so forth. So this is actually a milestone for the university, because from this carnival, the state government has pledged that they will set up more STEM lab all over the state actually. So we are targeting to set about 40 STEM labs by next year all over Sarawak, to make sure that no one in the state left behind, no students left behind in our pursuance of promoting STEM education at the state. We also engaging, yeah.
We will get back to you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So let's now talk to Dr. Achib and listen
Okay,
from
sure.
Dr. Achib about the initiatives in ITERA. I know maybe ITERA was established not so long ago, but we want to know about your initiatives and maybe future planning on the sustainability aspects, and from your position leading on the data science currently.
Okay, thank you very much. So this is great honor for us from ITERA to join this meeting and promote something about related sustainability, campus sustainability. And I would like to share to you about our initiative. Of course, ITERA is very young university, 5 years ago, but we have a big team. For example, we initiate to make the first airport using solar cell, totally solar cell. So it will be the first airport in Indonesia totally using solar cell, something like that. And Dr. Wesan already visited ITERA at the time, still using conventional energy. But next, when I invite you, maybe already using totally solar cell. Okay, I'd like to share my screen first. Yeah, this one. So ITERA is Institute Technology Sumatra. Here we have a big size for 300 hectares, and enough to make some sustainability initiative. I'd like to remind about UI Green Matrix. This is one of our participate for the Green Matrix. Last year, ITERA is number 24 in national ranking. Yeah, 5 years, but we in 24 ranking for the Green Matrix. I think this is a very good initiative because we can measure some contribution or decomposition for each parameter. So this is 2024 SI, AC, and for each indicator for this. So this is Indonesia, yeah. This is Sarawak, and this is Lampung, yeah, Lampung. ITERA in Lampung in Sumatera, exactly in this place. So this is airport in Bandar Lampung, new one. Of course, it become international airport, and in this future, soon it will be totally 100% solar cell, and it's fully support from our campus, from our university. In our campus as well, we develop about 4 megawatt for solar cell as well. So it will be totally supported from solar cell as well. This is our location. And as UI green metric, we can evaluate each parameter or each indicator. For this one, 21% of energy, and how ITERA try to find the maximum value for this one. Waste management, 80%. Also, we want to make 100% for this one. And each indicator: water, transportation, education, research, and so on. So this is indicator in UI green metric. And yeah, we are good achievement last year, become 24 in national and 400 ranking in the world. Yeah, something like this. So this is our master plan, 300 hectares, something like this. And we try to support each indicator implemented in our campus, like this one. This is our construction like this. And yeah, of course, we have some major here. I will skip this one. I'd like to skip and direct it to the sustainability initiative. Yeah, this is as you know, Sumatra, plenty of or mega biodiversity, and for each sector, actually can implement sustainability factor. I will skip this one, and I'd like to this one. Yeah. Of course, this is not only university, but as you know, this is Institute of Technology, related to technology and to accelerate or speed up about technology in Sumatra. As you know, there are some gap between Java and Sumatra for the technology. We want to make a minimum gap for this one and make balancing and create new growth economy, something like this, using technology. So that's why we need sustainability initiative for this one. This is the cluster for this one. And this one, strategy in innovative and sustainable industry development. This is a cycle for what we do in our university, and yeah, from beginning until the end of process. And each process we need some technology. For example, yeah, some food material or something like that, or rubber or something like that. So we evaluate individual sector and try to implement sustainability cycle, something like that. This one as well, we have a very unique for this one, and we have many researchers to develop this one, like this cycle. Yeah, this is something sustainability for this one. Yeah. And then yeah, we also just create a new research center for renewable energy, because we want to support for all Sumatra, not only Lampung. So that's why we have 10 provinces collaborate to this product. Yeah, and then this is for renewable, and then for energy also, solar energy, wind energy, and biomass. and energy planning, solar cell, and biomass and wind energy. And also we have a very unique, the only one in Indonesia for department, railway department. So it's also try to focus for sustainability. It's become a center of excellence because from the north to south it will be in the railway. Will be developed soon, and then yeah, this is our pillar and our strategy for Trans Sumatera Railway, and it connected in each sustainability area or something like that. And this is also a research center of sustainable infrastructure. Of course, this is our main research center. And this is a collaboration with industry, so many industry here. So try to academic industry collaboration, strengthen like this one. And then sustainable infrastructure like this one. As you know, in this area so many natural hazard or something like that. And try to make engaging within community or society for the how the important for the sustainability. This is our staff, and this is a sustainable infrastructure like this one, fire resistant material and light resistant construction and so on. I think that's all from ITERA.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Achib. So now, Dr. Idi, what about the initiative at Narutama University? Dr. Idi?
Good afternoon, all. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. We can hear you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I say talk about University Narutama, I will talk about Surabaya City is the capital of East Java Province, as well as the second largest metropolitan after Jakarta. The city Surabaya is famous for the beauty and neatness of the city. So it's no wonder that many want to come just for a vacation to for study purpose. Until now, Surabaya City won the Sustainable City and Human Settlement Award from the category of Global Green City from the United Nations. Through this award, Surabaya was asked to become one of series of clean and sustainable cities in the world. Surabaya City is consist by 21 districts and 144 villages, and population 3,100,000 population, with area 350 metric kilometers. And Surabaya City, we have 650 city parks and can reduce the temperature until 2 degrees. And Narutama University program for sustainable campus and university impact is by corporate social responsibility and solar cell development. And now, impact of university, Narutama University is ranking 83 national ranking. I think it's enough, Prof. Hisam.
Okay, Doctor. So, Prof. Siddiq, Okay, back to Prof. Fadil. So, Prof, here I think we face some dilemma in terms of when we talk about the university impact and as a ranking of the university, and also different types of ranking, which more kind of on the academic perspective, talking about number of staff, number of international students, number of international staff. So how UTM is balancing between the need to contribute to the community and the need to maintain a level, a certain level at the other aspects of rankings as well. Do you see any contradiction between those different types of ranking, where when we talk definitely about the university, it's the main role to contribute to the community?
Yeah, thank you. That one is a very good questions anyway, and I always debate to my top management about that. And it's not because of the ranking for sustainability, because we have a THE Impact ranking, we have a UI Grimetric ranking, we have Europa Awards and everything. So people actually adore to penetrate because they want to do and to show some kind of movement from their university. I think that's okay with other universities is working on that. But the position, each of these kind of instruments, if you look into different type of ranking and ratings, they actually evaluate you in different way. Because I already argued this with the THE Impact ranking under, we call it the THE. And they actually try to make another movement. It's not looking into the, what we call that, the numbers that you achieve and the point that score for that particular of thing. For example, like in the THE Impact ranking, they are evaluating you based on the SDG component, which means that they have a kind of metrics and rubrics that you have to look into. So my motivation to the top management, if we are actually looking around that kind of what we call that the instrumentation, you will see that this is actually to bring people together. For example, like in the ranking of SDG number 4, is some of them you can control that kind of value. For example, like on the enrollment, yeah, you can control that things. You can control actually how many people will come to your university, whatever it is. But can you control the what we call that whether the second point appointment of that kind of graduate is actually coming from the basic background that never have that kind of higher education? You cannot control that things. So, but that also include in that kind of, measurement in the ranking. But the motivation behind this, because they need actually the university, look, this is the category of the people that you have to look into. Give them a kind of opportunity to bring forward. For example, like the B40. In Malaysia, we have a category of people under the, we call that the very poor people under B40, for example. So what kind of accessibility for them? How? Because after COVID, for example, people doesn't know about the online academic and everything. But during the COVID and MCO, what happened? People changed drastically. So they have to do the online system. But what happened to the student actually very remote, isolated area? For example, you can ask our friend from Unimas. I believe that they have a problems to reach that kind of people. And even some of the students, they cannot reach that kind of knowledge because they say that my internet is interruption, disruption and everything. I don't have a quota there. So how can I get that kind of knowledge during the MCO? You can see the MCO is a 3-4 months for Malaysia. So to me, is actually when you look into the sustainability, you are not only designed for one purpose. You actually try to make people understand what's the methods that's suitable for that purpose. For example, like if you have a strategy number 1, you must have a strategy number 2, number 3, number 4. It means that at the end of the your process, you will achieve that. Doesn't matter, for example, if you want to look into that kind of, methodology that must follow by others. For example, we have a friend from Indonesia. Maybe the design of the campus is actually very green. They are actually covered by other kind of, plants. But how about the some of our university, for example, like UIA in Pahang? They don't have any kind of thing. They actually designed by urban area. So how can they are very green? So what they are doing, they are trying to make a smart building, right? So they are moving towards to the energy saving, for example. So each university, they have a special design, they are special initiative and design for that. So the what we call the sustainability is actually, hey, hello, I'm doing solar, so you should do the solar. No, not necessarily something like that. You have to, understand what the purpose of your university, what the purpose of helping people, and what's the impact from your university to others. So to me, it's actually look back to your root base, your fundamental of your university. I think Dr. Wesam, we have two campuses, one in Kuala Lumpur, one in Johor Bahru. Definitely Kuala Lumpur design is definitely urban city area there. If you look into the design there, I want to do the car-free campus for UTMKL. Maybe it's good because the facility there, those kind of infrastructure already there, and people actually looking for that because they say that it's very congested and it's very traffic jam every day. So they want to do and they want to contribute. But if you want to do in JB, it's quite challenging. You know why? Because the campus is so big. So people need the kind of, can we actually use the car? Because my faculty to that faculty is very far. So I need to reach that one. So as director of campus sustainability, I'm not saying yes, but I'm saying, okay, can we do this kind of alternative? Okay, I put a kind of bicycle, e-bike, somewhere in this station. You just park your car there and use this kind of bike from this point to another point. So see, I still can use and utilize that kind of design for that purpose of the campus, but actually I can meet the same purpose, right? So this is actually motivation to other universities. Rankings and ratings, whatever it is actually good because you want to show to your management, we are actually in that position. But in that in-depth analysis, actually what you have to do is motivate your top management. This is we are lacking. We need to improve this. And we need to do these things. Before you want to invest something for money, dollar and cent, we need to invest on mentality first. Right? For example, in sustainability, we have a lot of mentality issues here. For example, like rubbish, toilets, switch off the things and everything. So can we move these things first? Okay, then after we can show that this is good for us, for our campus, then the next phase is, can you invest something for this? That's actually my plan for the universities. I'm not saying that we have to refurbish everything, we have to change everything. No, it's step by step. So sustainability is tell to us that we have to adapt, we have to sustain for longer period. So that's actually my point.
Thank you so much. So, Madam Nur Azia, you wanted to share on your future initiatives, and maybe you may want to touch on the issue that we discussed on the UTM perspective, whether we have some contradiction when you talk about the different rankings, and especially when we mention about the university impact ranking.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Wesam. I will just go back to my slide and share on our way forward. This is our way forward. I'd like to share some pictures actually on our country, okay, because our country is very rich in biodiversity, especially the state of Sarawak, very rich in biodiversity. So it's very important to sustain the environment. So this is some ideas on way forward that our university has discussed a lot actually at the university. This is actually our setting the sustainability context on all the references that we are looking at. This is actually our proposed way forward for our center on what should be done, because our strategic plan currently will be ending this year on 2020. So this is our way forward for the next 5 years, looking at the knowledge for impact on the sustainability action playbook, which will contain on 5 elements here. We would like to have our sustainability policy domain into 4 areas, looking at the community engagement, where the academia, all the research activities, the products that we have designed, developed, need to be transferred to the community to solve the problems, to share the knowledge with them. And then also we are fine-tune our research activities into looking at the SDG aspect as well as in terms of curriculum, because we want to engage our students. Like Dr. Muhammad Fadil mentioned, actually sustainability is everyone's roles. Okay, it's everyone's role, from the leadership of the university up until the students, even up until the support staff at the university. So we want to engage our students as well. So that's why we embed the sustainability activities in the curriculum as well as teaching and learning. And then looking at the university practice as well as the institutional arrangement. So this will be the 4 policy domain that we plan to embed in our university sustainability policy. And then the focus areas, I would like to highlight some of the focus areas that our university will be doing on. And then I would like to promote here to welcome all potential collaborators that would like to collaborate with us in promoting such sustainability activities. We are focusing on energy, on renewable energy, looking at the environment, on water. So I would like to highlight as well, I would like to touch a bit on the water aspects, as mentioned by our moderator earlier, that especially in rural waters, there are challenges and also water scarcity. We experienced it in our state, because especially in rural areas, some of the areas are not connected to the water grid supply. So this is the role of university, because we have developed some water treatment system at the university. So we can transfer that to the community in needs as well. And as well as in the institutional arrangement and practices at the university, water savings is very important. And we're looking into food. I think starting last year, I think a lot of universities are embarking on the food banks for our faculty students. We're looking into health. I think our Faculty of Cognitive Science and Human Development are promoting a lot on resilience, promoting a lot on resilience, because it's very important in facing any pandemic or future challenges. And also focusing on the STEM education as well. STEM education is also to support the state agenda to become a digital economy state by 2030. This is our proposed or our aspiration at the university in terms of sustainability. We are not only would like to do any knowledge transfer or knowledge exchange, but we are looking forward into moving from become a service provider into a solutions provider. We want to have knowledge for impact, especially to the society and the community as a whole. This is the some aspects of university practices that we will embed some activities. I think other campuses or other universities are also pretty much doing the same practices on the low carbon campus, say no to single plastic use, reuse, recycle paper, energy savings, and water savings as well. Some of aspirations that our center looking forward to this is actually the output that we hope that we can have such output in terms of in the award for having award for the high impact community project as well as our bulletin, and we hope that we can have our flagship programs every year, and also the gallery where we can showcase our activities to the community. Well, this is our aspiration as well for 5 years. I think we have yet, I think I saw some university already participated in the Green Metric ranking. You must have not yet participated in UI Green Metrics. But then again, this is what we plan to have for future sustainability output, to sharing it in the international platforms such as Chain, and hope we can become the host for the next season as well. We are part of the Southeast Asia Sustainability Network as well, together with few other public universities in Asia. I think that's the sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Achib, so what do you see? How do you see the contribution of ITERA to Sumatra development? are you focusing on certain sectors, like you mentioned about the solar energy, and is it like you are focusing on multi-sectors? And what are the challenges for ITERA to progress more and to develop their contribution to Sumatra?
Okay, thank you very much. So the first, actually, we developed the platform. How interconnected? So yeah, you told me about, you mentioned about a multi-sector. Yeah, actually, we develop multi-sector because each province they has uniqueness. So we develop based on the uniqueness for each province. So ITERA support for each province with the uniqueness. So that's why we can call it as a multi-sector because for example in Aceh or in Aceh and Medan, in Padang and they same like in Sarawak we are heterogeneous, multicultural, and so we need specific for each area, yeah, for each region. Like science, STEM, we cannot directly use STEM, but we need ethnoscience. As you know, we have ethnoscience because in each area they have special uniqueness. So that's why we need special approaching for this one. But basically, using this platform, we can deliver for our idea and then speed up for the idea for the sustainability, and people know that and become a good motivation for each area with the uniqueness. They know about the strong and the weakness, and then can develop for the sustainability for each region. That's our university collaborate with the government and industry for that.
Okay, Dr. Achib, thank you. So back to Dr. Edi. So how do you see the contribution of Narotama in the future, and if you have specific contribution to the development of Surabaya?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wisam. Narotama University has a program with partnership with higher education to develop of solar cell provisioning, the first. And the second, Narotama support the government of Surabaya City on campus social responsibility. And then internal program is reduced for electricity, water, and paper. That's the next program for Narotama University. Thank you.
Prof. Eddie, we can't see you though. I think you are speaking, but you're, because of the background, we are not able to see you properly. Okay.
Okay, so maybe to get final remarks, this is, I want to ask Prof. Fadil. So do you think that the universities, this is in general, and maybe you want to reflect on UTM experience, again to the same point where we are talking about the university impact. At the same time, we want to balance, there is a lot of concern, a lot of focus on publications and maybe kind of publishing in high impact journals. So, when you want to do something with the community, it might not be at the same level that you can create an original contribution of the research that can fit into the journals, the high impact journals. So how the universities can balance this out, contributing to the community, but at the same time trying to produce a good publications as well. Prof, I think you need to unmute you.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay. That's actually one of our proposals, and now we already have a 2 years program already in place. Especially, most of our time is actually we are academics, as academicians, actually, we are having a core business. Two core business for academics means teaching and also research. We already try to define what is exactly the rules. And now, because of, in Malaysia, I think, and our partners from Indonesia and India, in Malaysia, we have two types or two categories of university. The first is research university, another one is non-research university. We call it M-Mertan and M-Tun. Okay, but since I think a few years ago, M-Tone means the non-academic, sorry, the non-RU, the non-research university is still doing the same what the research university is doing, right? So it means that they are the core business. So you cannot say that don't do the research value because your research value is only end up as journal publication. It's not good to, for the community, something like that. So what UTM, for example, one of the example, what UTM is doing, we are creating platform, we call it as a aim for star. Aim for star is actually a quadruple helix that actually the contribution of that kind of research is not only from the academic. The research can become from the community. The research can become from the industry. But they come back to the university because they want to get the scientific evidence. Why is happening there? What is happening there? So that's the real academic there. It means that we want to make a kind of things. Academic cannot do everything. You are not Superman. You cannot doing for others. You have to embed. You have to comply with other partners actually doing at their job. For example, like we have a civil engineers. We have we call that the district officer. We have some technicians actually working there. So don't do something that isolate yourself. So you have to embed everybody there. So for example, like we have a KTP. I think everybody knows about the knowledge transfer project. In UTM, we have a transdisciplinary research. The transdisciplinary research means in your research, it's not only academic, must be there. It must be the NGO, it should be there. The government sector also must be there. And they contribute in your research. But their contribution is not maybe on the writing part, but the contribution in terms of their policy, the contribution coming from their initiative, their blueprint, what's actually the roadmaps and everything. But as academicians, we have to compile everything, put in a journal, and we acknowledge that. So that's we call it as a platform for the M4 star. So I think in the next future, the keyword of translational impact to the society is the biggest things. Okay, that's number one. Number two, in the university, we actually drive our staff, our academics, to be as a KPI base. How many journals that you have to publish, and which journal that you have to publish, Q1, Q2, and something like that. So there's no spirit of that. So we are lacking in terms of humanitarian. We call it as well-being. It's not there. Even SDG is telling us, you should actually not focus on the technical. You should focus on how to engage, empower them, and make sure that they are passionate to do that things. So that's the reason why in our campus, we already have a committee to evaluate the well-being, the mental healthness of our staff or our students. When they are doing this job, when they are actually moving around, but how about their career path? How about their mental health, something like that? So because of this issue, is actually try to balance between the needs of academics, the needs of your research, again, because we want to make a societal impact, the well-being impacts. So because of that, we are trying leverage that kind of level. It's not only you to do that kind of research, but you need someone to collaborate and then also empower them. It's not only from the single entity, it must be from the multiple perspective. So that's the initiative that we created.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you for all the panelists for joining us today, and we'll give back the floor to Mr. Akram.
Thank you, Professor Besant. Wonderful discussion. I think a lot of points coming again, enriching my knowledge and experience on this. And I think it's a wonderful concept. A lot of Indian universities are looking forward for green campus in India. And I see we have been interacting with a lot of vice chancellors, pro-vice chancellors of different universities. And there is a clear demand as well as a sensitization program being organized by different universities. I think their international exchange of knowledge and views would be extremely imperative, and this discussion can be the foundation stone for that. So viewers, if you are there and if you like our program the way we do, we'll be very happy that if you subscribe our channel, the YouTube channel, and we will bring to you different experts like we have with us now and share their views and experience of how to make the world a better place for living. Thank you. Keep watching the policy.
Thank you again for the host and also the co-host.